All right, welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'll get my co-caster here. In fact, giving him a call right now. Got. All right, there we go. What you got? You there?
Indeed am.
All right, cool. Okay, so we got our next and final series now that we're jumping into. Obviously, you just got finished watching you guys, and that was quite the game too. There, got the comeback from you guys in that game.
Oh man,
So.
I can't though.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Love playing Scout, man. What the hell's that about?
Yeah, I thought we were conceding at 15, but he came through.
So were you guys actually talking about that? Because I actually
No,
found
no, no, no,
that
I'm,
just
I'm just
left.
joking. We
Okay.
weren't gonna concede, but
I would not have
early
been
game we were
surprised.
looking pretty. We were pretty far behind, so
Yeah, that's a
team
rough
morale
start.
wasn't the greatest, but pulled it through.
That you did. So yeah, that was an entertaining game. But now we got our final series here of again Sync versus Polymorph coming at us. Appreciate joining me for this one now. All right, so let's get into it here. Let's get into what we're dealing with. We have Deadlift, Midas, Parasite, and Ophelia bands coming out. Warbeast into Magmus, Behemoth into Riptide, Sandwraith into Lord Salforus, and then the next tier bands, you already see Cersei, Pearl, Scrap, and Rhapsody. So interesting development here in this game. The bands especially. Sync taking out a lot of these kind of really heavy push heroes, potentially, I guess. So, but yeah, so a little funky. Riptide, we don't see a lot of Riptide nowadays. Guess that'd be the
Yeah.
one to really focus on here. What do you think?
Yeah, we haven't been seeing a whole lot of Riptide, and immediate response pick Sandwraith, which is a really strong hero at dealing with Riptide. As soon as you activate Eye of the Storm, and Sandwraith counters with his ulti, it breaks the ult. So Sandwraith is pretty strong against Riptide for that reason. So Sync wisely picking that up as a response pick, and they have a strong dual core of both Warbeast and Sandwraith. So I like their draft so far. There is some good team fight developing with the Magnus and the South Forest. A lot of AoE magic damage. But yeah, as you pointed out, a lot of different bans. Sync takes out the Cersei to counter the Sandwraith pick. So that one's not too crazy about Scrap and Moira. So banning out all supports.
Yeah.
Not often we see all supports banned out. Scrap could technically be a core, so not necessarily a support, but yeah, mostly support bans coming out from Sync.
Yeah, that is
And
something. Okay, well, because
Monarch.
because of all these support bands, yeah, we're gonna have to reach into another tier, and sure enough, Monarch coming out from Sync.
Yeah. I personally think Monarch is actually quite strong since she got recent buffs. I think she pretty much got buffs to every single spell. It's so annoying when I play against this hero in TMM. It feels like the enemy team has perfect vision on me all the time. So yeah, I personally find it super annoying playing against a Monarch, but yeah, I'm actually quite interested to see because we haven't really seen her a whole lot picked up just yet on the scene. So yeah, it's a defensive support, so it's gonna be they're gonna want to just sit back and farm for the most part with the Sindrith and the Warbeast, and just keep up good vision with the Monarch. That's their game plan at the moment.
Well, we have Monarch. I actually do like as that support, and we have seen her a little bit ever since kind of these changes took place. I want to say, and I think her kind of glaring weakness is that all her skills are just really good to the point where you almost want to level them all up, and that could be a problem obviously for a support in a lot of ways where you can't get those levels necessarily. So that's from game to game we'll see kind of different builds because of that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Serenia does here.
Yeah, and the ulti as well. It's I believe the cooldown does go down. It's not necessarily a spell that you need to always level, I would think. So you could also, instead of leveling that up at 11, you could look to potentially put more points into other spells like the Chrysalis or the Nightcrawler. So yeah, there's that option as well. So yeah, to further your point about how good her skill set is across the board. When we see a Blitz fourth pick coming out from Hex, so they kind of go the opposite end of the spectrum. Blitz, a very aggressive support, likes to play a little bit more active. I like the pick up against the Warbeast as well, because whoever Warbeast chooses to go for, they could just speed that target up, and he can kind of run away from Warbeast. So that could be kind of annoying for Warbeast specifically. But yeah, opposite end of the spectrums with the supports, so that tells you that Hex wants to play very aggressive, where Sync wants to play more on the defensive to get their farm up on their cores. They do go with an Aluna, so this could be a dual support, or it could be it's going to be a core Aluna played by Mickey.
Huh. They've done this a
Interesting.
couple times, I think.
Yeah. Looks like we'll probably just see general offlane Behemoth, jungle Warbeast, mid Aluna, and then probably Monarch babysitting wherever she feels she needs to be. Pretty standard lineup. And then we have a final pick, Madman, being played by Snooki. So, oh wow, that could be offlane Madman. I'm not too sure actually.
Yeah, he's not usually that carry.
Henzu's stepping in. I believe he's not part of the original 5. He's not tagged up, so maybe just swapping up roles, offlane Magnus and carry Madman, perhaps.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're missing Chaos Master, I believe it is.
Okay, yeah, he's generally their carry.
Yeah.
Hex is one of those teams they kind of have like a lot of fifths. It seems like at different times. So yeah, probably just swapping up the roles. Although he is heading bottom with a ward, so.
Huh. Yeah, what does that mean then? Interesting. So they're gonna have South Forest lane? No, he's in jungle.
And Riptide's heading top. That is definitely different.
Whoa.
Not often we see a short lane Riptide. It's not out of the question because now he can put his puddles down more frequently. So, when the lane does move in its position, whereas in mid it's pretty stagnant to one spot, he can move his puddle since it's only a 20-second cooldown. So I don't think it's an issue for Riptide to be in the short lane at all. Just something we're not used to. We don't really see it that often anyway.
Yeah, but to me, I guess my big thing is that they could have at the same time just sent Magnus top and then just had Riptide middle, where he is just naturally a little bit stronger because there is the water there for him to take advantage of already. So
yeah,
I guess that'd be the only thing to kind of pick up on. But you are right. I mean, the fact that he can put those puddles down now pretty frequently maybe doesn't hurt him that much in the end. So, well, yeah, the Suicide Madman, though, is what they... So this also being in the short lane, figure we really just want to prioritize Riptide and his farm and see what kind of impact he can have here. In the early
and he's a hero that, he can definitely translate into more of a semi-carry, hard carry with his skill set. Has the damage from the In My Element. And yeah, he gets the attack speed as well. So he definitely can translate into a right clicker. It's not unheard of. So Tech's one of those teams that like to go outside the box with different stuff, and we'll have to see how it performs.
Yeah, we saw that Timer Storm game yesterday. That was fun.
Yep. They like lots of different stuff. I think they were the team that did that heavy push strat against BMG as well, and I don't know if we've seen that executed as well as the Hex did that one game. I think that was last weekend, but still it was very impressive to watch.
Yeah, it is fun to kind of see these newer teams talk about, kind of break into the scene and see what they can make happen. So clearly skill levels there, just maybe about getting more experience ultimately. But Snooki going back in here as pulled the creep wave. Monarch was doing her best to make it difficult, but in the end, Madman actually gets it off pretty well, it seems like. Successfully even. So you see Monarch, she did get the Noxious Nightcrawler first. So gets that Ward of Sight down at the bottom rune spot there. But yeah, Mickey is going to be 1 versus 2 as an Aluna here against Blitz Magnus. That does sound scary to go against.
Yeah, early levels will be okay. Blitz doesn't have the most range. Magnus, low level on the Lava Surge doesn't have the greatest catch potential. So he'll do okay for the first couple of levels. But yeah, we're going to see Monarch rotate in. So before there becomes that threat of Blitz and Magnus having enough damage and chase potential to bring Aluna down, we will see the rotation. So that's good. Sandwraith will be 1v1 against the Madman, which actually Madman could do quite well. Sandwraith not the greatest 1v1er. Madman quite strong in these kind of scenarios. So this is really good for Hex, having the Monarch rotate mid.
Yep, there's an Iron Shield even already delivered to Madman here, so like a decent start coming out. So yeah, obviously even we mentioned Hex perhaps running with a different fifth themselves. You also got, of course, Sync. Zibe not here. We actually had slapped on. He made a point of that. Zibe apparently forgot they had a match today or something. So, but
well, that's not what you want to hear, but
yeah, it happens, I guess.
At least they were able to find somebody.
Yeah, so I was gonna get at that. Do you know who this Volca guy is? Anything about him, or?
I know the name from TMM, but outside of that, don't know a whole lot about him. Sure, he'll fit quite well. seeing as how he seems to be a skilled enough player. Shouldn't be an issue.
It's always fun to kind of see players like this and people in chat insisting that they know them. And so I've been seeing a couple of things. And one guy's just like, Volka queued with me and Kormal. Volka went AFK and we lost. It's like,
oh, nice.
Well, this guy.
Well, that's not
great.
what you want to hear, but hopefully he went AFK in a competitive setting. I think that'll be a little bit different.
No, I'm sure he's going to be pretty active here. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what he's able to make happen in that Suicide Behemoth world. Something we've seen plenty, of course. So yeah, Monarch has rotated to the middle, so it is a true 2 versus 2 now.
Yep, and it's quite a strong lane, dual range. They both have quite high range as well. A lot of crowd control with the red stun and the crippling pollen. So those are 2 good spells against the Magnus. If he gets too low, they could potentially take him down. So Magnus playing quite passively at the moment, understandable.
Riptide, 20-4 up here, having a fantastic time, really. In a case of as expected, but especially being in the short lane like I was talking about, really intrigued to see how he develops. Now, your teammate Fuzzy Sloth, he obviously has some history playing this hero quite a bit. Fuzzy in general, though, really likes to get a shrunken head. I think it's something I've really picked up on more myself as far as observing lately, just no matter who he plays. But if we were to see a shrunken head, what would you expect to see on maybe a Riptide here?
Outside of the Shrunken, it wouldn't be uncommon to see something like an Insanitarius kill top. He's doing a lot of damage. Oh, the final auto attack not able to go off, but puts a lot of pressure into Behemoth. Yeah, I would say Shrunken Head is very common. His skill set, as I pointed out, is very good at translating him into a right clicker. So just having that magic immunity, being able to freely auto attack is the name of the game. Something like an Insanitarius Elder Parasite, if he thinks he can get away with it, is okay as well for the hero skill set. So yeah, those types of items are what I would expect to see on a Riptide.
Okay. See what he does go for here. Yeah, very close call right there. Both end up getting fairly low, but Riptide missing out just barely on that. Actually getting a last hit for the kill. King Nika here on Lord South Forest. He's killing off a stack camp right here, so that GPM will jump up a bit. Already at 270, going to be upwards of 290 or 300 even. So he finishes that, I'm sure.
Both junglers doing about even. The difference is South Forest is going to start to take up stacks now that he's level 5, whereas Warbeast is a hero that doesn't necessarily look to kill stacked camps. So, yep, South Forest pretty much even with the Warbeast at the moment, but he will start to slowly pick up ahead of him. Outside of perhaps if any assists do go the way of Warbeast with the Battlecry, which he has chosen to prioritize over his passive. So making a point that wants to make the lanes do a little bit better since Sandwraith is in a one-on-one now, so he does need that extra little oomph since he's one-on-one. I like that Zlap's chosen to go for that.
A little less greedy there with that build.
More for the team.
Good to be a team player.
Yeah, I actually, I was playing Warbeast yesterday and I skipped Battlecry for quite a while. We felt that we couldn't get any kills in the laning phase, so didn't feel that it was worth it. We talked about it, so I went the more greedy route, but I like that Zlap's going the more team route this game. Makes sense.
Yeah. That is interesting, yeah. Didn't note that. Actually, now you mentioned that, I think we actually pointed that out, perhaps in the game, so that's that does explain it then. You felt like being greedy yourself, so.
Yeah, we talked about it since I was playing more of a heavier core role in that game. Felt necessary for me to be able to farm a little bit faster.
Yeah. That definitely would. I mean, does it? I guess it does. It does
you do because you get it as a passive effect versus having the downtime
constantly.
of the Warcry.
Okay.
Less mana being used, so you have more wolves, etc.
Yeah.
You don't need to use as many mana pots. It's just a little bit more convenient. Day of pauses, huh?
Yeah, today's been one of those days, man.
Yep.
Hopefully Oscar gets that situation
It's all
figured
Oscar's
out.
fault. Yeah, he's gonna have to talk to his ISP because it's becoming a constant problem at this point.
Yeah.
Yep, unfortunately.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun.
First game of the day was quite rough for us.
I bet.
Yeah.
A lot of dealing with that, and yeah, that wasn't unfortunate. I mean, ECX they did play very well, but yeah, it's a case of like it always
they
sucks
were playing very well. Nothing to take away from them at all. So yeah, how badly did my jungle NG get criticized?
Oh gosh, that's right.
Not my best performance, unfortunately. I have done better, but didn't execute it quite perfectly.
Well, see, so
It is a thing, though. I do think it's a thing.
we were kind of wondering. So that's yeah. Obviously, we were pretty focused on that. He did bring up the idea that like when you picked NG, it was like, oh, we could be seeing something here. Didn't know what to expect, and sure enough, we saw you doing the jungle thing, and it did seem like you were up to a little slow of the start. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was because of spawns or if you maybe did mess up the rotation a little bit.
It was a little spawn and a little bit of I messed up, so I didn't
Okay.
execute 100% flawlessly. It's one of those things where if you do mess up, it kind of you'll notice it. It's not unnoticeable by any means. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was kind of lacking a little bit on the levels, but that's yeah.
There was that, but then also, but once you started going with it, the idea, it actually, the execution was actually pretty fun to watch, and stacking the mines, then stacking the camp, and then doing the pull into
Yeah.
it, and we did see once you eventually, I think, got level 3 mines, you were able to take out a whole
Yeah.
triple stack with like 4 mines or something. So
Yeah,
um,
it's a big difference once you start to level and progress. Early on, the cooldown on mines is quite high, so it's a little bit slower, but
yeah.
um, it's something I've been working on in practice mode a lot, and I've been testing it out as well. So I've been practicing it.
What?
And the hero's the biggest reason I like playing the hero. It's a fun hero.
Yeah. No, and the other thing I was actually talking with Vergroste about there was the idea that I personally always love the thought of the mine build. And, we talk about when we see NG, is he going mines or not, or is he maxing out QW? And because I found
Honestly, I think mines are legit.
exactly.
I mean, they do so much damage, and you can throw them at people and like instantly explode them if you kind of know how to do it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely legit. I agree.
Well, yeah.
Or I
So
think so.
exactly, it's that mentality, but your build, the way you played it in the jungle, especially that's kind of the idea with it, is that you do get the levels unlike a main support NG would, and you can
Right.
get that level 4 peak of mines as soon as possible. You get your energy field. Yeah, we saw you do it at the bottom lane. There's a one time where you portal keyed in, you got 2 kills on their carry and somebody else down there.
Oh yeah, the
It,
tower.
so,
yeah.
it
Yeah,
was
I mean,
noticeable
once you
for
have
sure.
them maxed out there, the cooldown's a lot lower. You could throw more than one consecutively. So yeah, they do a lot of damage as long as you're able to land them.
Yeah. It was fun to watch, so it is good to see those innovations there, definitely. But you,
Yeah, I saw a guy named Corporal, I think it's WTF. He was doing it on stream, and I liked the idea of it, so I tweaked with it a little bit, tried it out for myself in practice, and kind of got it down.
yeah.
And yeah, now gonna do it every once in a while. Not saying I will do it all the time, so. Support NG is still,
Are
solid.
you afraid you
Solid.
ruined the secret too early, or are you not really expecting like
It was we did it in a scrim actually over this past week, and we actually won with it. So we were feeling pretty good, being able to test it in an actual setting and do well.
Okay.
So if we didn't win that scrim, I don't know if Formless would be actually being like, okay, go ahead, jungle. He'd probably yell at me if I didn't go lane with somebody and play as a support. But
yeah.
yeah.
Jungle's interesting. It really, because there are definitely heroes there that they may not be classified as a jungler initially, but they have potential. Like Doctor's another one that comes to mind. Honestly, Lord Self Forest, I don't think technically was a jungler in the beginning, and then you started running in, and a couple others, and all of a sudden he's known as a prime jungler now. So
Yeah, and I hate how Cthulhu font, like if you do the filters when you find a game or whatever, Cthulhu isn't considered a jungler. I don't
He's
know
not?
why.
Okay.
Like the hero is like definitely a jungler in my opinion, but
he absolutely
I don't know
is.
why it's
Yeah.
not categorized as a jungler at all.
I'll put that on my list. Cthulhu, not a jungler.
Oh, please.
On
Please do.
tier list. Oh,
Because a lot of the times when I find a game, I'll just throw on the jungle filter and random, and the actual heroes that are filtered as junglers isn't really that high, but there's a lot of heroes in practice that you can actually jungle with, as we've been discussing. So.
yeah. No, it's a fun. It's a kind of fun. It's a fun role to play too in TMM, in my opinion, where
Yeah.
because you're not as reliant on teammates, and you kind of just do your own thing in a sense, and then you eventually become useful, of course. But
Yeah.
I like it for that purpose too. So.
Yep.
All right. Back to this game, though. Enough of that talk. Innovation and everything. Back to standard stuff, like Suicide Madman.
Yep.
Short lane Sandra.
Suicide BE, which we never see ever.
Every game. Short lane Riptide. Okay, that's a little different.
Yeah, that one's a little bit better.
It's got the puddle down here. Yeah, with it, it's what, every 20 seconds you can use that, right? So,
Yep.
um,
Yeah, it's really not too bad. I mean, okay, speaking of heroes that can jungle, I honestly think Riptide can actually jungle, and I've tried that one in practice, and
huh.
I think that one's legit as well. It's not the fastest by any means, but it's definitely like possible to jungle with a Riptide.
Interesting.
Yep.
Potentially every hero can jungle.
Oh, Blitz's smoke's going to be unfortunately broke by Sandwraith. Who's going to get through? It looks like he'll concede through. Oh, Madman's coming over.
They're not conceding this through, and they're charging in fact, head on. This is going to be a Bloodlust kill most likely. Nice job with the Chrysalis to save Sandwraith. Power throw coming through. Can they get a turn kill? Sandwraith, oh my gosh, he's going to live
so
right
close.
there. And now Blitz on the run. He's going to get caught. And Bloodlust in favor of our Legion team. Now it's not done just yet. Monarch still running. Nice Chrysalis
nice
timing
Chrysalis.
by Serenia right there. Puts out a Noxious Nightcrawler as well, trying to slow down Madman. But a double tap for his lap ultimately. Wow, that could have gone either way, and it just went in favor of Sync, though.
Yeah, and that's the power of Monarch's W, which he had level 2 when the fight originally
yeah.
broke out. So, you know, it's not even maxed out just yet, but we're starting to see the power of the heal and the damage reduction. Salforus going to find Warbeast here. He's going to take him down. Monarch also going to be in trouble.
Chrysalis, yes, he gets it off.
He's not going to be able to get out of this one, though. Double damage Salforus.
Do it.
Going to be too much for him. But yeah, I mean, we saw even there, we knew he was dead, but we saw, you know, that extra bit of time that it took for them to bring him down. And, you know, that was a double damage Salforus, so they're going to keep it going. Sandwraith going to be body blocked by Magnus. Nice job by him. Should be a kill.
There you go, Blitzkrieg.
Really nice aggression coming out from Hex. And, you know, we talked about it. That's their lineup. They have the aggression, whereas Sync, you know, they have the Sandwraith and the Warbeast. They're going to want to be as passive as they can, even with that support of Monarch. So good job by Hex taking the fight to Sync, not letting him feel too comfortable just yet.
Well, something else happened there, and neither one of us saw, I think, in the top lane. No kills, but
Okay.
Riptide got really low. He actually used his ultimate, looks like to escape almost. And Behemoth was also back at base, so something must have happened up there. But again, nobody dying, actually.
Didn't use Shockwave, so maybe just slowly getting Riptide lower and lower? I don't know. But it does have that Shockwave still ready to go. So Riptide actually does need to be careful because he actually chooses to only have one into heavyweight. I think Oscar and Fuzzy specifically, especially if they're against another melee, they like to go heavyweight, like level that up. Because of the added extra damage, especially because you can use the Enrage as well. So I don't know if that's a mistake by Behemoth this game, since he was against the Riptide, but you know, can't criticize him too much. Hasn't died, is still getting decent fire. It is a tough matchup to go up against the Riptide. Blitz gonna get caught in the Hellborn jungle. That's an easy kill.
Yeah, great find there. How about slapped already? 3-1. That's his third kill already. That's gotta feel good. You know, we always talk about the battle cry allows him to get a lot of assists early on. Well, he's actually getting kills here. 3 kills and 345 GPM now.
Yeah, even with a hero without a nuke slapped is the master of kill stealing. But no, jokes aside, it's very important because Warbeast is a hero that if you give him a good start, and we actually see Magnus going down middle lane.
Yep.
Didn't quite see that, but Magnus is definitely struggling. Only has red boots and a mystic vestments. Mickey, look at his farm. Almost 400 gold per minute, really controlling the middle lane handedly.
Yeah, no, this game definitely has some different stuff going on here, as we were referring to earlier. The middle Aluna top farm in the game, 390 GPM now. That's impressive.
Yeah, it definitely is. But back to the Warbeast, it's really important that he's getting these kills because, you know, he is a carry and he's a hero that's going to translate into great things for his team. So, you know, the fact that he's getting that added gold coming out from the kills is really significant.
What should we expect to see on Aluna, you think? She seems like, kind of, especially in this core role as nobody that's
Aluna?
good. Yeah, so like a Hellflower? Or?
He's going to want to go utility items this game, and that's only because they have the dual carry with Warbeast and Sandwraith. You can definitely build Aluna when she's in a core role as a more of a right clicker because of how her Emerald Red functions. Gives her that attack speed, so building damage on her is actually a thing, but in this game, I don't feel we'll see that. Items like the Tablet, the Portal Key, the Cyclone, I think are all choices that we could definitely see Mickey go for. I wouldn't be surprised to see Tablet as his first choice, just to get away from heroes like there's 4 strength heroes that wanna, or 4 melee carry heroes rather, that like to sit on top of you. So Tablet is a very good option in this game.
Oh, top lane, Mario Party coming out right there. Behemoth, he's gonna get taken out. Not much he could do at that point. As soon as that Eye of the Storm started, pretty much knew the end was near, and sure enough was. So needed that TP support, didn't come. Now the tower also going to be pressured on top of that. You see Riptide does have a Steam Staff, so yeah, probably leaning towards that in Sanitarius. With these first
yeah,
priority
definitely.
here.
Yeah, that's probably his first item. It's a good first item. And interesting, Lord Force goes for a bolstering armband. I'm wondering if that's going to be... Okay, Ice Brand. I forgot about Ice Brand. I was going to suggest Puzzle Box, which is not an item yeah, okay, I forgot about Ice Brand.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably going to be what he goes for, actually.
It is just funny seeing the bolstering armband. Nobody played before that.
Yeah, I for some reason completely forgot about Ice Brand, but that will probably be the choice.
Yeah, I'm definitely going.
Madman goes Striders. That's different.
Huh.
Look at that damage that he puts onto Sandwraith. It's a lot of damage. So Sandwraith, I mean, Warbeast came in, wanted to maybe try to do something, but Sandwraith doesn't want to look for anything with this low HP currently.
Yeah, the Striders, though. I mean, I can't. This is so to me that's really signifying that they are really playing to win this as soon as possible, kind of game. When you're
nice Deny coming out from Axe.
Yeah, very nice Deny. But now they know he's here is the problem and exactly where he is. You see Blitz is trying to chase him down. Madman is trying to stalk in there, but Axer's doing a good job of sitting in the trees, staying alive. Madman in trouble now. He gets hit initially by the Son of Monarch. Going to survive the power throw. It's just not enough damage. The tablet will stop him, though.
There's the tablet from Mick A.
And he gets taken out. Yeah, right away, securing a kill. Blitz also going to be found. Haxrid is going to get counter-killed, though. The eruption going out from Magnus stopped as being channeled right there. Meanwhile, no, those are... Okay, never mind. Illusions there. And actually now Force and Riptide all of a sudden on the run. Aluna, can she get a stun off? Maybe try to... She wants probably the creep rate to bounce off or something. Go for Riptide. The power... is just going to miss.
Just barely misses.
And now Forest continuing to run, but they are going to block him, actually, and I think it's going to be a dead Forest here. Shockwave even used. Let's just get it, they say.
3, you're out.
All right. Well, that took a while, but Sync definitely coming on top in the long run.
Excellent team fight coming out from Sync. And Polymorph has the heroes that they should be able to win these kind of engagements, but Sync just fighting really well together. One by one taking out heroes on Polymorph's side, thus taking the team fight. Really well done. They take an 8-5 hero kill lead. Goldie not too far out of reach, but the experience, 3,000 already. That's quite a good experience gap from that team fight. We have level 10, 3 level 10s across the board on Sync's side, as well as level 9 in the Behemoth. So doing well in the levels so far.
Yeah. So I want to go back to this Madman real quickly because. With them going the long lane with it, I guess that did kind of ultimately make the point that they were going to really make sure he gets farm and be this carry. His nice 5-second stun, by the way. Oh, boy. What a play by Mickey right there, lining it up perfectly and easy follow-up to secure it in the end. So, unfortunately, Caster's curse right there, but getting the Striders, clearly he's not going to be going for any kind of farming tool either. Is this the best decision? I mean, kind of hindsight now a little bit, but would this been something that you would have liked to see?
Well, I mean, they definitely could have laned their heroes differently if they wanted to. They had the option of putting Magnus long lane and Riptide middle, but as far as this item build goes, it's tough to say. I mean, they're playing Riptide like a kind of like the 1 at this point, since they prioritized his farm. Stun goes in top lane into Behemoth. There's the Crystal is going to mitigate a lot of damage.
Yeah, the Undying's on him, though, and that's
a good block. They could look to turn this.
Sandwraith.
Thinking about it, yep.
There we go. Port's in, and also Slap going to join the party. You do see the Ice Brand delivered, so Force tanking up a little bit more. However, Luna throws out the stun. It's not enough, though, just yet. Warby's still chasing the lifesteal. Is it going to be enough to survive? Absolutely not. Warby's a little too powerful, and they also chase down Blitz. Meanwhile, back over here, Madman's still around. He's actually looking to catch this Behemoth now. He goes back in with a barrel roll, secures a kill, but at what cost for him? It's going to be his life in the end. Double tap for Mickey. not worth it there to go back in to secure that kill. A 3-for-1 exchange for Sync coming out. So, yeah, they dove pretty heavy on that Behemoth to start. The Chrysalis, Monarch's really just been on top. But, again, that goes back to the idea of what Monarch really provides.
Yeah.
A very turn potential kind of hero.
Yep. So very, very strong at these types of bait and counter kind of plays. And, yeah, Mickey's impact in this game is just super, super high right now. So not addressing Mickey in the laning phase is definitely proving to be a problem for Hex at this point. 6-0-4, almost 500 gold per minute. By far doing the best in the game at the moment. Slap right behind him, almost at 400 on Warby since he's been getting a lot of kills and has good involvement so far. So yeah, it's just looking really solid for Sync at this point. And we talked about how they have the greedier type of lineup, and they want to be the ones who be passive and have Hex bring the fight to them. They're letting them do that, but they're capitalizing on the engagement. So it's looking really scary right now for Hex.
Mm-hmm.
Someone shot Hex's neighbor. What?
I don't even know what to make of that.
So strange.
Assume it's probably like a loud noise or something like that, and
they probably heard like a gunshot sound or something. I don't know.
Obviously, hopefully everything is fine, but yeah, hopefully this is just a quick pause though. Illuna, it really is fun seeing this hero, especially in this role too. Not only because it's just different, but Illuna's skill set, it's kind of like, it's kind of a hidden secret almost that she technically has carry potential in that scaling, in the Q, the Emerald Lightning, the attack speed steal. So you could actually build her, Hellflower, Assassin Shroud, Shield
really
Breaker.
Good. Yeah, I mean, those types of items are not unheard of to be picked up on Illuna. It's just the place the hero has on this lineup is that she has to go the utility items. There's no room for her to become that right-clicking presence because they just don't need it. They have a Sandwraith and a Warbeast who are going to do that for them. So
true.
It's just, we want to see those items, but Mickey's going the right build this game.
They're not thinking about their fans. They're thinking about themselves and winning this game. That's
time on time. They do. I mean, we saw Mickey do the Cleaver Behemoth once, so
they did.
They think about it sometimes, but not all the time, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was fun to see, and it worked beautifully. So I like how people kind of laugh about it and joke about it.
Cleaver Assassin Shroud, did he get the Rift Shards eventually?
Yeah, he absolutely did, and dominated. So
yeah,
well,
two shot people with Shroud and Rage buff, easy.
You got Riptide up here. He's sitting on that Sanitarius, Mystic Vestments. A lot of just nice core build up here, but we really haven't seen him too involved just yet. And to me, again, Riptide really is kind of screams like one of those heroes that his ultimate you want to look to be very active with. That's kind of the reason why I think the mid is so good for him, of course. He's in that spot of I can go top, I can go bottom a little bit easier. So
yeah,
not really a whole lot of that this game.
The biggest problem, well, not the biggest problem, but a problem that they have is that they picked it second in their draft. So, Sync immediately took the Sandwraith, which, as I pointed out, is a really good counter to Riptide. So if at any point in time they see him ulting, which they definitely can because they have a Monarch who's constantly putting out vision, not only through wards, but through his own Nightcrawler. So they have, basically like their map is lit up like a Christmas tree, so to speak. So as long as they see Riptide ulting, they can just immediately respond with the Sandwraith ulti. And then, that big spell that's Riptide's ability to kill someone that factor is gone. So that's a big deal for Hex.
Speaking of Sandwraith down here, 2,300 gold saved up. About 17 minutes in, so Haxerin doing pretty well overall. Obviously working towards a sort of the high. The eventual Mock of Brilliance here.
Warbeast went for Puzzle Box this game, which I think is a great pickup. There's a lot of melees. The mana burn is really good against heroes like Magnus. The reveal is good for heroes like Madman and Riptide. So Puzzle Box, I love this game. It's a really good pickup by Zlap. And he doesn't have to be the hard carry since they have a Sandwraith. So he doesn't need to build those outright carry-ish items. The Puzzle Box is going to do a lot of work in these upcoming fights.
Kind of going back and forth here in the middle lane, but Illuna continues to win the battle of last hitting. Actually going to stack the Ancients with the nice power throw right there. It's a clever tactic. Gonna be on top of that. And you see Warby sure enough heading over, perfect timing as well. So again, just good kind of teamwork, communication coming out right there. Wouldn't expect anything less from Sync. So, yeah, Slap was making it very clear that they literally did not play at all before their match yesterday, like in the last month. So, it's kind of interesting hearing that when they did look pretty good, honestly. So.
I would think he means as a team because I know
as a team,
some of them individually play, here and there. But yeah, I agree. It's tough when you don't play as a full five. Sometimes the teamwork and communication isn't always just there because you have that little bit of a break. I can notice it as well in my own team, so I understand that.
They steal the Ancients right there. Does Polymorph, so nice little swing of farm for them. So they, as much credit as I gave it to Aluna, stacking the Ancients right there, pretty well played, and he ended up stacking it for the other team. So kind of backfired, but can't really blame him for that, of course. Middle lane.
They just want the sword on Sandwraith before they take a fight, so they just need those key items to come in. He doesn't have his blink just yet, but he's very close, so they're waiting for the portal key and the mock on Sandwraith. Then they probably won't be afraid to give up any sort of resources like they just did.
And you see the Ice Brand on South Forest trying to finish. Assume would be that full Frostless going, and we talked about how we had that incident the other day where bought the Ice Brand, never finished Frostwolf, ended up selling it later on even, and got a Sheepstick instead. So yeah, kind of a little inefficient there. Hope that King Nicky in this case, and just progress from one to the other. Riptide continues to do his thing at the top lane. It's pushed up though a little too far, however, so he is going to now roam around a little bit. 20-minute rune is coming up. Not going to wait around for that just yet, though. The Ward Sight will... Oh, never mind, he is invis, right? So, well, they see him mid anyways, but... Yeah, that's something as a spectator I really have to keep reminding myself of, that Riptide's invisible when he's in the water like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I have a hard time telling. But that is the case, so... Gotta be...
Yeah, and that's the strength of why you like putting him mid, because he can rotate through the river as we have action. Be he going to show off the portal key, not use the shockwave though, so that's good for them. They don't need to use that big cooldown. Get a kill onto South Forest, so probably going to look to push in the bottom tower now. Magnus does have a portal key though, level 1 Eruption. We'll see if they decide to defend this or not. Won't be the most damage, but... Oh, there goes the phone.
It's all good. Magnus, as you mentioned, he's thinking about it. Oh, but this Hellhound, if it goes in here... Now, they don't actually see Magnus. Oh, but it's going to go out, and now they'll be able to see him. So, yeah, if anything, that should make a point for Sync to not push. It's not worth it. Let's fall back. They're setting up. Mickey, meanwhile, he gets caught by Riptide over here. Good job using the tablet over the ledge. Makes the escape. Got the good angle there. Blitz. Fissure block will catch him. And Blitz is probably going to die. The eruption going off right there. He was hoping that they would run on the uphill. But again, Sync just a little bit too aware right there. They end up killing him anyways. And now Riptide caught off in the Conqueror pit. He too is going to get bursted down by several heroes. And this is all being done again without this mock on Sandwraith, which he just purchased, by the way. So a very safe play by Sync ends up working beautifully. And they also get the tower kill as Lap goes and finishes it. So the lead just grows now for Sync Esports here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's looking really scary. Definitely. Warby's going to get caught here. Shockwave goes out onto 2, though. The turn is real from Sync's side.
Yeah,
really nicely done. It was looking scary for Warby's there until Behemoth came in.
Yep, he jumps in and completely turns everything around. One of the, arguably the best counter hero in the game as far as completely changing around a fight. And another example of that right there. So Frosted Skull is finished on South Forest at least. But actually 2 more towers being pushed. Middle's going to go down here even. And so is the bottom probably. Sync's lead just grows and grows. It's not stopping.
It's going to be around 12K. 12K, yep. 12K gold and 16,000 experience. Yep, not slowing down at all. It's looking not the greatest for Hex.
Yeah, and I look back at this map a little bit, again, especially knowing that he's not going for this, at least he's kind of farming up, and maybe they can rely on that. He's really going very off-lane heavy. I can be useful, but I'm not going to be your carry madman. I guess is the best way to explain that kind of build. And so
Yep.
with that, they really just don't have that threatening target. I mean, this, again, was a very committed, we want to win this earlier on team, and being down this much 23 minutes in, not the plan. If you're
Yeah, and their top farmer at the moment is South Forest, and he has a Frostal Skull, which, in my opinion, it's a good item, but it's not going to really translate into, great things for the team because he's still going to be affected by the magic damage from Behemoth and the Mock from Sandwraith, which, is going to be a problem for him. If Monarch does use that Crippling Pollen on him, he's not going to be able to cast his spells. Mickey actually gets caught middle. You probably caught that.
I sure did. Best cameraman in the world.
But that's a good kill. They might look to actually sneak a Kongor here with that kill. Was a Savage 6 streak as well, going to Riptide, which is going to get him closer to finishing his Shrunken with that 765 gold bonus.
Yeah, this is, I don't want to say last, excuse me, last chance here by any means for Hex, but this is kind of one of those, it's actually a decent spot to try to really make something happen in this game finally. Now, as I see, there's a big shockwave again from Volca coming out right there. You see Mammoth dying very quickly. Eruption coming out in return, but it just doesn't do enough. Aluna obviously staying dead throughout this. Not even necessary, though. Hat trick for Slapped. They clean up, really. I mean, Blitz is alive over here. Yeah, King Nicky did my back. I was going to say I thought he died, so yeah, he buys back, but they do finish off Blitz. So essentially a genocide. As Salforce kind of charges in right here, not really sure what his game plan is. If it was to die, well,
he might get a turn kill onto Behemoth before he goes down, but should go down. They're going to try to kill himself to Ancients if he can.
Nope.
Not going to be successful. But I think Magnus actually didn't have enough mana to use his Lava Surge. Don't know if that would have changed the fight anyway, but it still was a thing. He used the ulti, I think Portal Keyed close, but then I don't think he had mana, unfortunately. I didn't see a Lava Surge stun used, so yep, there's a concede vote, and just